In the 1st District, the approved candidate is Lucia Simonelli. This race I was able to do more research for, simply because this is the district I live in. I don't have time to travel and speak with every candidate in every congressional district. However, participating in town halls and other candidate events is a far better way of learning about them when deciding who to vote for. The reality is, though, not every candidate will have these events, unless you have thousands of dollars to buy access at private fundraisers. There was a town hall earlier this year on January 13th that I was able to attend. When deciding who to vote for, seeing candidates doing town halls is a very promising sign, as it allows their constituents to ask questions and discuss important topics. The video of this town hall was originally on the PA-01 town hall Twitch page, but it appears to no longer be there. I found another recording of it on YouTube, and I'll link the full video with Lucia's campaign website in the video description below. This clip from the town hall includes the question that I had asked. We will listen to Lucia's response and discuss it afterwards.
Hello, good evening. Thank you all for being here, for hearing our voices and our questions. So my question for the candidates here tonight, considering the numerous crimes committed by Trump, various members of his criminal administration, and assuming our current administration remains spineless to impeach him, and again, everyone who's deserving of it, once elected, will you join to help lead impeachment efforts in the House and work to abolish ICE and work to establish new Nuremberg trials for the fascists in our streets terrorizing our fellow citizens? Once all criminals are removed from government, what are your top 3 policy goals you will all fight for? Thank you.
Rob, you first. Lucia. I will remind you, impeachment, abolishing ICE, and top 3 legislative priorities. You're going to have 3.5 minutes because you had 3.5 minutes, sir.
Thanks. Yes, I would support impeachment. I would support holding these rogues accountable for, in any way that we can. I think we have to be realistic about the situation of the next 2 years, which is that the Trump administration is in power. We will not have control over the Department of Justice, which we would need to fully implement a plan that you described. But I think that if we take the House, at least there are steps that can be taken that are important to do. In terms of abolishing ICE, as Rob mentioned, they got a huge budget increase. And people who join our ICE get many times more the average person's bonus. So I would take that money and I would put it into funding our asylum process. I would restore temporary protected status to make our immigration process work, to let people in that are vetted and that deserve to be here.
Top 3 legislative priorities.
3, aspirational or pragmatic?
What 3 legislative accomplishments are defining your campaign?
Okay.
What are you leading with?
Okay. One is healthcare. This is the moment. So many people are feeling the consequences of the system we have. Now is the moment to engage people in conversation. Now is the time to talk about Medicare for all. I really think we should be the party leading on that, and I think we can get something done. The second is we need to put back in place the things that the infrastructure bill and the IRA had for green energy and green industrial processes. This is a domestic competitiveness issue. We need to bring back manufacturing, and we need to do it in a clean way because that makes us an economic leader and that makes the cost of goods affordable. So that is definitely a priority for me. And the third, I'm going to go out on a limb here, but what is important to me is science, because I think science underpins a lot of things that we talk about, and it is being cut out across the government. One place that it actually got cut out in the mid-90s was in Congress. Congress used to have a little agency that was nonpartisan, neutral, full of scientists and people that were informed about technology to help Congress people prepare for things like a pandemic or AI. In the absence of that, Congress people now rely on lobbyists to inform their decisions. So I would restore the scientific and technical capacity to Congress so that we have an informed policy-making body to protect us and make sure that we're regulating things appropriately.
Thank you for the question. With regards to impeachment, I actually, just in the last week, have been asked to and have joined a grassroots movement. Some of you may have heard of it. It's called Citizens Impeachment. They have...
I included that last bit from Tracy because I did appreciate him mentioning citizens impeachment. At the current moment, citizens impeachment is only endorsing candidates in the 3rd and 10th districts of Pennsylvania. We will discuss them later in the video, but I hope they will consider endorsing Lucia as well. The second thing I want to address is the disappointment in myself for messing up my own question twice. If you didn't catch it, I said in the question, if our current administration remains spineless, when I meant to say our current Congress remains spineless when asking about impeachment. I misspoke there. Also, at the end of the question about abolishing ICE, I said terrorizing our citizens when I should have said terrorizing our communities. The problem with ICE is far more than just their actions against citizens. Every human being they traumatize in the United States, regardless of documentation status, must receive some form of reparations after this, and ICE must be abolished and prosecuted. If this isn't possible in 2027, then it better remain a top priority for every congressional and presidential candidate in 2028. Lucia's response was acceptable. She does support impeachment efforts, and I liked her answer regarding ICE and reallocating their budget to other important immigration services. Though it could have been a better answer. I was also slightly annoyed when she asked if the top 3 legislative priorities were supposed to be aspirational or pragmatic. Wasn't angry, just disappointed. My expectation of any congressional candidate is to be a leader. Your campaign should have policies that you are fighting for to improve people's lives, and it's your job as a candidate to explain to voters why those policy priorities will help them. After I clarified by saying what 3 legislative accomplishments are defining your campaign, Lucia gave an excellent response. Number 1, Medicare for all. 2, a Green New Deal. And 3, restoring factual scientific thought to congressional decision-making. All of these excellent policy answers and demonstrates why Lucia is a candidate who understands not only the problems we face, but the solutions we need to pursue to solve those problems and improve lives. There was a second debate that I was not able to attend in person, but I do have another short clip from it. This debate happened back on February 11th. A link to the full video will also be included below. What makes the information in this clip important is how Lucia improved her messaging regarding ICE since the first debate.
Lucia, same question. What have we not talked about today that you want to address?
Many things. I think one thing is colonialism rooted in racism. I think we're seeing this inside of our borders and outside of our borders. And if we want to rebuild the integrity of this nation, we have to say things as they are. One of those things is abolish ICE. It is too rotten to reform. It is dangerous for us, and we need those resources for a safe and just immigration process. The other thing is that Israel committed a genocide in Palestine, and we have been complicit. And it is high time that leadership says it, because we will not change our actions unless we confront the truth.
Thank you. Tom?
Now that is a congressional candidate ready to lead and make lives better for those in the 1st District and everywhere else once elected. That is exactly what we need every politician talking about because, as Lucia said, we cannot change our actions until we confront the truth. To expand on Lucia's point further, the point she made is a concept called the imperial boomerang. The United States for decades has now wasted trillions of dollars and murdered millions of people in imperialist wars in the Middle East. We have allowed colonialism to continue through Israel's ongoing genocide of Palestinians, and now the genocide and ethnic cleansing of Lebanese and Iranians as well. Those were also ongoing for years, but we have all seen the recent increases in war crimes by the Israelis. Now that imperialism and colonialism has also turned inward on the U.S. population through the actions of the ICE Gestapo, as Lucia mentioned. Lucia Simonelli, candidate for Pennsylvania's 1st District, has successfully earned my vote. All the other candidates you see in those clips are no longer running. But the one candidate who is still running against Lucia is the corporate-funded candidate selected by the party establishment. Not a candidate who will represent you or me, nor spend his time to speak with voters, as shown by his lack of willingness to engage at the prior town halls, despite being invited to all of them. My guess is he figured no one else would make the ballot, and he would just move on to the general election. Nope. Now, to be fair, there will be another town hall on Monday, April 27th, between this corporate hack and Lucia. And by the time this video is released, might be past that date, so hopefully it'll be recorded and posted somewhere. I'll be curious to know how he campaigns, since he never bothered to show up at the earlier town halls, nor to my knowledge has any social media presence to see how he's campaigning there either. All I have seen is his website, which is just another example in a long list of disappointing, uninspiring candidate web pages. If we, the voters in the 1st District of Pennsylvania, want to flip this district and vote out the top AIPAC-bought congressional candidate in Pennsylvania, then we need to first vote for Lucia Simonelli on the May 19th primary. If you are still not convinced after those 2 debate clips or watching them in full, I have one final recommendation before moving on to the next district. Or, even if you are just looking for another political podcast to watch, go check out the YouTube channel Democracy Dogs, hosted by former congressional candidate and friend of the channel, Rob Strickler. A link to his discussion with Lucia will be included, and I highly recommend you subscribe to his channel. Give a listen to the other guests he has had on, and support another channel that is giving a voice to candidates and other politically engaged Americans who are fighting to improve all of our lives.